Good morning, James Brewster here. We are going to talk about sleep, how you can get more of it, how you can get better sleep. Now, sleep is one of those things that I know I misunderstood it for years. I always thought that sleep was a time you just go to sleep, brain does nothing, body does nothing. That's not true. There are different levels of sleep, and the brain will cycle through them in what's called a sleep cycle. They are generally 60 to 90 minutes, and you go through different levels of sleep. You have REM sleep, which we're familiar with dreaming or flying or being chased by monsters or whatever. And then you have non-REM sleep, where the brain is quite literally learning and cataloging new information. How much so? Well, you have students, they did a study where students who studied all day and then crammed all night, on average, didn't do as well as a second group of students who studied all day and then got 8 hours of sleep. And they determined through these studies that it was because the brain was learning, filing, cataloging information, and that's why the students who slept did much better. So if you have a challenge, if you have a test, an exam, whatever, it's better to get sleep than it is to try to cram or worry about it, because you're not giving your brain the chance to do what it wants to do, and that is to learn and file away and catalog that information for later use. Deeper levels of sleep, as it moves along the sleep cycles, will release growth hormone, and that's what helps the body to regenerate. That's what helps the immune system to regenerate itself. And so sleep is very important. So when you're asleep, your body's repairing itself, relaxing itself. It's learning and making sense of the previous day so that you can go out and be awesome the next day. Now, you've probably noticed by now that I'm outside. You see the sky is blue. That's because as the sun's light passes through the Earth's atmosphere, it refractures or scatters. And you see the blue, all the blue spectrums are now in the sky, and that's essentially what wakes you up and gets your body and brain energized. You've probably seen this, if not in yourself, in others, where people who, if you have a string of days where it's cloudy, gray, snowy, rainy, whatever, people are grumpy, people are tired, they're just like, don't get around me, leave me alone. That's because that blue light is not there waking them up. Now, that blue light, which helps you and helps your body to do what it's supposed to do, can also be detrimental if it comes from artificial sources. Now, source number one, you're going to encounter at work, and if you have a home office or wherever, and that is the blue light produced by computer screens and the lights overhead. Now, you've probably noticed, especially if the light's really bright, that it's glaring, you're going to have a headache. And when I first started using computer glasses, I didn't realize how big of a deal it was. Now, this is obviously the pair that I use at home. Why? Because I don't want to look like a dork. That's why. But these glasses remove the blue light from the computer screen, so I can be up later at night if I'm gaming or lose track of time or working on something, and it's easier for me to get to sleep if I'm wearing these. But James, I don't want to look like a complete dork. Well, it's probably a good thing, and that's why I bought a second pair that I use at work. Now, my previous job, I worked in a call center environment, and in this role, you were productive if you were either, number one, on the phone, or two, waiting for a phone call. And when I always had trouble with my productivity stat. Once I obtained these, and this was an unintended side effect, my productivity went up. Well, why? Well, I took these off for a day just to see, hey, were these really doing anything? Oh my goodness. I was quite literally taking 2 to 5 minutes in between each call, resting my eyes, trying to get them refocused, trying to get my head to the point where it would stop hurting and I could focus on the next call. But once I obtained these, I might take a break if I had a tough call, but otherwise I would document my previous call and jump right back in. So I was more productive. My current role, I'm sitting staring at the computer all day. I might work from 7:30 to 5:30 at night, not including lunch and a short break or two. but my head doesn't hurt. It isn't throbbing. My eyes are focused. My eyes are not dry. And the lights overhead don't bother me anymore. The computer screens don't bother me anymore. So that's huge. Number 2, you want to try to stop using electronics an hour, half an hour before bed. Not only because the images do excite your brain, but if you have blue light and you're not using any type of glasses like these, you're going to wake yourself up. That TV screen, that computer screen is going to wake you up. Also, exposure to blue light will also disrupt your brain's ability to produce melatonin. Now, you might take it because, hey, I need help sleeping. But if you have a pair of these and you reduce your exposure to computer and TV screens, you're going to be more focused during the day, and you're going to be more likely to get to sleep and relax at night, and your brain's going to be more likely to produce melatonin when it needs to. Now, I do have a link to my blog, and there are going to be links to these on Amazon, so you can check it out, do your own research. You'll see these anywhere from $10 to $60, $70. I wouldn't go more than $30. You're going to get most of the benefit and not break your pocketbook in the process. And again, get a pair of these if you don't want to look like a complete gamer dork. So what else do you have to deal with? Well, you also have to be wary of the type of light bulbs that you have in your house. Now, this is the new trend, natural light bulbs. Now, these produce a white light, and they're good because it's good in decor. It's the new trend for decor and real estate. And they are helpful because you can actually see that your shirt is purple and not fuchsia or something like that. But these natural light bulbs do mimic the light that comes from the sky. What does that light do? It wakes you up. So you can do all the other things. You can have the computer glasses. You can try to cut back on the amount of computer and game time that you're getting on your smartphone or whatever. But if you try to relax and read in a bedroom or a room that has these in it, you're still going to wake yourself up. So you want to have a couple of bulbs or a couple of areas where you have these soft white bulbs. And these are going to produce more of the yellowish light. You don't necessarily want to pick out your clothes in this type of light, but you can actually wind down and go to sleep using soft white bulbs. Now, also smartphones, because smartphones will produce a bluish light. And if you are using them during the day or trying to wind down at night, you read your Kindle book or whatever at night, and you don't use the modes which change the color scheme from bluish to reddish or yellowish, your smartphone will wake you up at night. Now, some Kindle apps and other apps will change the screen to a night mode where it isn't as harsh on your eyes. You can also use an app called Twilight if you have an Android phone. No, it is not the cheesy vampire story. It is an actual app that changes your screen to red so you don't wake yourself up if you have to use your phone at night. You should try not to. And you also have, if you have an iPhone, Flux and also Redshift. So those are all apps that will change your phone's screen from bluish to reddish, and that's going to help to keep you from waking yourself up when you're trying to wind down. Lastly, and this will help to jumpstart your day, get you on a good rhythm, help you to stay energized, and will help you to get to bed at a normal time. That is, ditch the snooze button. Now, the snooze button is that thing which I know I've used, many people use. Well, I just need 5 more minutes of sleep. I just need 30 more minutes of sleep. That's going to help me to wake up refreshed. It really does the exact opposite. Because think about it. We talked about those sleep cycles a little bit earlier. And what does your brain when you hit snooze and go back to sleep? It does what your brain is supposed to do and goes into another sleep cycle. The sleep cycle lasts 60 to 90 minutes. And if you interrupt that thanks to a snooze alarm, and this is where it kind of gets into almost physics, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. Well, a brain at sleep tends to stay at sleep. There is an actual term called sleep inertia. And that sleep inertia can last anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. And that happens if you if you hit the snooze, go back to sleep, and then try to wake up after sleeping for even 15 to 30 minutes. Now, what can you do? The best thing is to just wake up. Don't use snooze. Don't put it off. Pick the time you're going to wake up and just wake up. Second thing you can do, don't use the snooze at all. Let your brain go through another sleep cycle. You'll wake up and you're more likely to just hit the ground running. If you must use snooze, or if you accidentally fall back asleep and you hit snooze again, take a cold shower. That's going to shock your body and your brain into waking up, because otherwise, again, your brain's going to stay in that half asleep mode for 2 to 4 hours, and depending on how long your commute is, that's almost a third, 40% of your day. That's why you need coffee. That's why you need sugar to get up and get yourself running, because if you're using the snooze button, you're literally putting your brain back to sleep. And if you don't take a cold shower, again, 2 to 4 hours in the doldrums. So don't do that. So again, check out my blog post link. That's going to have a link to the Amazon product, so you can check it out, do your own research on computer glasses or different types of light bulbs. So again, number one, try to limit your exposure to blue light during the day. Have the computer glasses if you really need them. Number two, just try to turn off all electronics an hour, half an hour before you go to sleep. Number three, you want to replace some of those bright white or white light bulbs with the soft white light bulbs, so that you don't wake yourself up at night. Number four, use the smartphone apps that change the color of your smartphone to red, so you don't wake yourself up at night. And number five, don't hit snooze. Just get up, get going, get into your day. That's going to start you out on the right foot, and it will help you to get to sleep at a normal time, because if you're not napping or dozing during the day or spending the day half asleep, you're more likely to get tired when you're supposed to. So check out the links. Let me know if you have any comments. Give me your experiences with your endeavor to get better sleep, or any tips that you might have. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day, and get some sleep.